We have all been there, right? You ask an AI for some really important advice, and what you get back is just a useless, bland non-answer. Well, today, we're going to break down exactly why that happens. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to force that AI to give you the real answers you're actually looking for.
So let's just dive into a classic scenario. Picture this. It's late, you're feeling super anxious about work, the long hours, the demanding boss. So you open up a chat with an AI. You ask it a simple, direct question: should I quit my job? You're hoping for a little clarity, maybe a fresh perspective.
And this is what you get back: a response that feels like it was written by a corporate lawyer. It's kind of like you're screaming for help in the middle of a lake and someone on the shore just calmly hands you a pamphlet on water safety. I mean, sure, it's technically correct, but it is completely and utterly useless.
Okay, so this isn't just a random quirk. It's actually a very specific style of non-answer that AIs have gotten really, really good at. We like to call it AI Tai Chi. It's this masterful art of deflecting your question without ever really touching it.
This AI Tai Chi has 3 signature moves. First up, there's the dimension trap. Then it pulls out the buzzword bag. And finally, it perfects the ultimate move of any master politician, the fence sitter. Let's break down exactly what these look like.
So the first move is the dimension trap. You ask a simple question, something like, where should I go for dinner? And the AI hits you with firstly, secondly, thirdly. It breaks your problem down into all these different dimensions, like nutritional science, geographical location, personal taste. But after all that analysis, it never actually recommends a restaurant. It gives you a framework for thinking, but 0 actual answers. Next up is the buzzword bag. This is when the AI stuffs its response with these impressive-sounding but totally hollow phrases. Things like synergy, diversified perspectives, and dynamic balance. These words are basically cotton candy. They look big and substantial, but they're mostly air and have absolutely no nutritional value for your brain.
And the final, and maybe the most frustrating move, is the fence sitter. The AI is a master of agreeing with everyone and no one at the exact same time. If you say option A is good, it'll agree. If you say, well, option B is better, it'll agree with that too. It just maintains this perfect neutrality, leaving you exactly where you started, only now you're probably even more confused.
So you have to be asking yourself, why is AI so committed to this path of, mediocrity? The truth is, this blandness isn't a mistake. It's not a bug. It's actually a core feature of how these models are designed from the ground up.
See, the crucial thing to understand is that an AI's main goal is just to predict the next word. That's it. It sifts through trillions of words it was trained on, all of our books, articles, websites, and it just chooses the word that is statistically most likely to come next. It's always playing the odds, which means it's always aiming for the most average, the most common, and the safest possible response.
Now here's how this plays out in the real world. Imagine you ask an AI for an opinion on the musician Jay Cho. On one hand, it's seen millions of fan reviews calling him a genius. On the other, it's seen millions of critical reviews calling him repetitive. So, to be safe and statistically correct, it just smashes all those opinions together and gives you the perfect middle ground, a totally balanced and totally boring summary.
And this just perfectly illustrates the big takeaway. You're not talking to some genius, original thinker. You're talking to a super secretary that has meticulously filed away the most common opinions on every topic imaginable, and it's just reading back the average consensus. Mediocrity is its default setting.
Okay, so now that we get the problem, how do we solve it? How do we actually break through the Tai Chi and get a real, useful answer? Well, it's time to learn some counter moves. We've got 3 really powerful techniques you can start using right away. First, you'll learn to explicitly forbid the AI from using its evasive tactics. Second, you'll assign it an extreme persona to force it to have a point of view. And third, you'll learn how to dehydrate its output to find the hidden gems inside all that fluff. Let's start with forbidding Tai Chi. Instead of just asking your question, you add constraints. You tell it exactly what you don't want. Prohibit it from using lists, forbid it from saying firstly, secondly, and demand a direct, biased, one-sentence answer. You will be absolutely amazed at how a few simple rules can completely change the tone and, more importantly, the utility of its response. Okay, your second countermove is to give the AI a role to play. This is a fun one. Don't ask for a generic opinion. Instead, you tell it who it is. Make it a ruthless venture capitalist, or a skeptical scientist, or maybe a wildly optimistic entrepreneur. By forcing it into an extreme persona, you break it out of its neutral comfort zone, and you get a genuinely useful, very specific perspective.
And finally, learn to dehydrate the AI's output. Treat its first response like a big, bloated, rough draft. Your job is to go through and just delete all the filler words. In conclusion, it is crucial too, comprehensive consideration, and just see what's left. A lot of the time, hidden under all those layers of fluff, you'll find a cold, hard piece of data or a single spark of insight that is genuinely valuable.
So we've learned how to fight the AI's blandness, but this all points to a much bigger idea. The crucial point here is understanding what makes us, as humans, uniquely valuable in this age of artificial intelligence.
I want you to think about this for a second. The biggest threat isn't that machines will become too much like people. The real danger is that we will become too much like the machines, always looking for consensus, afraid to have a unique point of view, speaking in these perfectly balanced, meaningless sentences. So here's what you should really take away from all this. The AI's path is the path of averages. Your path doesn't have to be. Your little quirks, your biases, your unpolished and spontaneous thoughts, those aren't bugs. They are your greatest strength. They are the shield that protects you from a world of AI-generated mediocrity.
So, the next time you see that familiar, evasive, waffling response start to form in your chat window, you'll know exactly what to do. The only question left is, what are you going to say back to it? Thanks for joining this explainer.